Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome to another episode of the Cigars and Everything Else podcast. This is episode 47. My name's Jared.
Episode 47.
My host is Denzel. And we're going to get into some of the cigars and a little bit of everything else, y'all. But we're going to start with the stars of the show, which will be, man, I'm rusty. 47.
You rushing it. Let's get into 47.
My fault, man. This ain't our first time going through this, man. We've been having some technical difficulties. So I'm trying to breeze through the intro to get to the show. But it's our first time.
Ready to get it running.
First time saying it, though. So my apologies.
Yeah. But yeah, we're at episode 47. And we got to figure out whose show this is.
The only person I know I don't want to give it to. But I'll let you see what options you got.
Okay. Well, I only have two options. I only got two options right now. And maybe you might have somebody different. Or maybe you got one of the ones that I'm already thinking about.
Okay.
But the first person I'm thinking about, first person that comes to mind for me, and this might be your guy, AK-47, Andrei Karolinko.
Yeah.
Or
that's him.
I did do a little bit of digging, and I haven't seen the proof of it yet. I've seen this guy's jersey with other numbers, number 29. It's all over the place.
Well, this is his show
Satchel
right
Paige.
Now. Who?
Say what? Satchel Paige.
It's his show. Satchel Paige. No,
show. Before he even said it.
Yeah.
But Satchel Paige, man. Satchel Paige, historic, you know what I'm saying, Negro League, MLB, all of that, Hall of Famer. When I looked it up, said number 47, famous baseball players who wore the number 47. I don't know if he wore it in the Negro League, but as far as Major League Baseball, I haven't seen the 47. So we can go that route. We can go the AK-47 route.
So we got Karolinko or a maybe.
Or
maybe he wore 47.
But a giant maybe.
Look, let's go with, we'll go with Paige, man. Satchel Paige. Satchel Paige episode, man. How about that?
Satchel. All right.
Because I didn't want to give it to Andre anyway. I was never a fan of Karolinko.
So you're willing to give it to a baseball player. Albeit Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Color barrier, all of that. Great pitcher.
Yeah.
But a maybe. A maybe baseball player over a hooper.
Yeah. Yeah. Just because, you know. Hey, man. I gotta give Paige his flowers, man. You know, a lot of those guys didn't get their flowers in their era, so you know we give it to them now.
Oh, that's true fact. True fact. So hey, Satchel Paige, we'll do it. We'll do it one time for Satchel.
Yeah. Now you know if he would have been a little more modern day, he'd have been in trouble.
But he's historical, so we got to do it.
There you go. Baseball stinks. Anyway, man. Let's get into the, what's up?
No. Let's go for it. I was gonna say, so any great baseball player from 2000 on would never get a nod.
They gonna have to be up against like
some nobody.
NASCAR. Car number 52. Like, well, not even 52 because 52 is Ray Lewis over that. It had to be some weird number. Car number 57.
Yeah.
You know, I don't know.
Yeah. And give it to the baseball player. He got it.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey.
Hey, but
one day
look,
baseball
you sent me a baseball highlight though. I was quite impressed with it. You know what I'm saying?
I was impressed.
But it was kind of impressive. But it still stunk as a highlight. But it was cool though. You know, like.
Yeah. But how often does that happen? Like that's a rarity. You know what I mean?
Yeah. It's
like you have to sit. I'm pretty sure just for that one play, they had to sit through 3 hours, maybe 4 hours of baseball just to get that one glimpse of a highlight.
Yeah. But if you take that highlight and put it up against football's highlights, it sucked. But if you actually look at what it took to do it, it required a certain amount of agility to pull off.
It did.
Not talent necessarily, but agility. You had to be agile, you know.
You had to take a little bit away from it before you gave it to him. Hey, I feel you though.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
It's
like,
baseball. It's baseball,
man. But it was cool. I watched about 3 or 4 times, man. I was like, okay, man, that was pretty good. That brother, man, he stopped on a dime. Like, let me explain it for those that don't know. He was about to get out at probably third plate. I think it was third base, I believe. And he was about to slide into third. And my man dipped his glove down and he just pulled back the slide and brought his foot to a stop. Then the guy who was trying to get him out, I guess he was bracing to get hit. When he went to brace, my man just kind of inched that foot on the base and shit. It was real smooth, man. You know.
Yeah. Had to give it to him, man.
Time, agility, all of that was on 10 for that to be pulled off, man.
Mm-hmm. But like I said, those moments are far and few between, though. They're far and few between. You got to sit there for hours just to get that one good highlight out of how many baseball games that you probably sit through. Just to see one big highlight like that. So I get it. I get it.
And it was a highlight.
Give it to him. A toe highlight.
The toe highlight.
He didn't dunk a ball. He didn't one hand catch. You know what I'm saying?
None of that. He pulled his toe back a few inches while it was going in one direction quick. Anyway, man, let's get to these cigars, man.
Because I'm excited.
This is the we take a dump on cigar week. Second chance. It's not. Oh.
It's not. I was gonna go that route. But man, we didn't have a show last week.
Right.
And I can't remember what I smoked, but I don't think it was something that wowed me too much. But I've been sitting on this cigar for a while, and I didn't want to sit on this cigar any longer. Can I go ahead and go first? I'm excited.
Yeah.
I'm excited.
Let's see what you got.
I've been sitting on this cigar for a while, and we talked about doing these cigars, and it's the Oliva, man, the Oliva G serie. And I did the same thing that I did with the other cigars. We talked about reading the profile and getting the information prior to the smoke, something that we didn't like to do before in the past, but I've come to this new age of, man, getting that profile of the cigar and reading through it and get some kind of expectation of what I expect out of this cigar. And I think I'm going to love it, man. I think this could possibly be my favorite Oliva, just based off of what I've been reading. Now, if it doesn't live up to its expectation, live up to the hype of what I'm thinking, could be a disappointment. But man, after I was reading it, I was like, no. We got to go with this Oliva today. It's the G series. We smoked V. We smoked O. And I've never, ever, ever, ever in our years of smoking cigars have ever picked up a G series. And here we are. We have it.
I'm nervous for you, man, because that's that type of hype, man. That's that hype. Like, that's that in and out hype. Like, you come to Cali and they be like, man, come get an out burger. It's going to be the greatest thing. It's going to change your life. And then you get it and you're like, it was good. But let me say this, though. The G series, it wasn't hyped. It was just, they just told, it just factually is what it is what they put in the description. So,
yeah. So that's the difference. Like, nobody's telling me, hey, yo, this is the cigar. No, this is the one. It's just the way that I've been looking at it. You know, it has all those characteristics that I like. It's a box press. It's medium body. At least that's what they say it is. 92 rated. So, I mean, we talked about ratings, whether ratings really, really, truly matter, but it's 92 rated. So it's in that top class. Right. Already, just off of those things, it puts itself just off of what we know. It puts in the top class. So I am anxious to see if it lives up to what I'm thinking, to what my expectations are.
Well, I've been seeing you with that glass, man. You've been taking some sips off of, man. What you pairing it with today?
Oh, man, I'd say I have some tequila again, man. I'm on the tequila. I did splash a little lime juice with it. I've been getting my tequila game up. Of course, we talked about that before. And I just felt like this glass was the right type of glass to put tequila in. You know what I mean?
Most definitely. Hey, that's what it is, man. Well, for me, I have, and now that I got it in my hands, I feel like we did this before. I feel like I've smoked this on the show before. Or you smoked this on the show before? I don't know. But I have the Perdomo 20th anniversary, the Maduro wrapper, and it's got a nice little box press to it. You know what I mean?
I did have a Perdomo, but I don't think it was that one.
Okay.
I have had those anniversary ones before, but I don't know if it was that one particularly.
You've given me an anniversary now that I'm thinking about it.
I have. Let me see that band again, because that looks like a more orange band. I think the ones I had was like was that red or orange?
Red.
It's red. Okay, that might be the one I've given you. That might be the one I've given you. But I don't think I've smoked that one on the on our show before though.
Okay.
Yeah,
we're gonna get into it, because Perdomo is Perdomo, and it can be hit or miss. So we're gonna see what we get into. I'm pairing with some Hennessy here.
Ooh.
So
brought back the Henny. I haven't had Henny in a long time, man. It's been a minute.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I mean, to be honest with you, I haven't had cognac in a long time. And I used to be an avid cognac guy. But I've really, really have gone so far away from cognac. Lived in the bourbon whiskey range for a while. Sat with brandy for a good little bit and been on this tequila run lately. I might have to go back to cognac. And after we slice these cigars real quick, we'll go ahead and get our cigars going. We can talk about we can talk about how, I don't know, these celebrities, man, and these drinks, man. Like in some ways it works, in some ways it doesn't. Because honestly, Diddy coming back with the Ciroc cognac actually kind of made me want to jump back into the cognac realm and give it a shot. I like what he did with the brandy, and I'm thinking, okay, yeah, if the brandy was good for me, I wonder what this cognac would taste like, what this Ciroc cognac would be.
Right. So,
but man, they definitely do the advertising well, but it's like, do you live up to the hype? You live up to the hype, and so far I've been let down. I
bet.
Right, so what kind of cut did you go with?
I got a straight cut. Went straight cut on it. Hit it with the match. I heard you torching over there.
I'm torching.
You like you had a nice little straight cut on it too.
Yeah. So I went with a straight cut, and my torch is going crazy right now.
Sound like
it's more like a blowtorch. It's like a blowtorch right now. Oh man, I hope I don't damage my Oliva with this torch. There we go. We was turned up too high.
I brag on my one match. I was well lit, but I didn't feel like I was gonna get a nice even burn, so I'm going back
in. Okay. You could have went with it, but you went back just to even it out some, right?
Yeah. That I didn't feel like it was gonna be even, but I got some nice aroma coming off of this right now.
Mm-hmm.
And my initial taste is like a toastiness and some like a toasty cocoa coffee type vibe. You know what I'm saying? But this is off the initial burn. This is nice. This is very nice. I like the aroma. I like the initial taste I'm picking up on too, man.
Man, I am getting mixed emotions right now.
What you got?
The aroma is beautiful. The smoke is beautiful. The initial taste is great, but then it's this aftertaste that hits me. Let me go ahead and clear my palate real quick. Cause my initial thought at first light was, man, this is great, just off that first puff. But then it hit me and say, no, it's not. Has it ever happened to you? Like you smoke a cigar, like, whoa, this is great. Like, no, it's not. Or no, this isn't it yet. Like, and then like, it actually is pretty good. That's what's happening to me right now.
That seemed like that could be just the overall care. You know what I'm saying? Care of the product.
Mm-hmm.
Like, you think does it feel stale? Like as far as the actual leaves or anything?
Not so much stale, but I did have it for a few weeks, and I don't know if I took care of it as well as I should have.
Yeah,
you know how sometimes we're hit and miss with our care cigars. Yeah. Sometimes we'll mistreat our bad boys and just toss them around, leave them out in the humidor for a little bit. So that could have been it. That could have been it. Just off that initial light, and then of course using the torch never gives you the best chance of that first puff. Sometimes you gotta let it burn down and kind of ease a little bit. But it hit me like, man, this is good, and then it said, oh no, it's not. And I think that could just be the torch burn.
We're gonna blame that
we'll
torch.
see. We'll see.
We're gonna give it a little bit more. Let you draw on that a little more before we claim that.
So a little bit about my cigar. It is a Cameroon wrapper, Nicaraguan origin. What else do we got? What kind of fillers and binders? Nicaraguan fillers. Yeah. So pretty much through and through Nicaraguan with just a Cameroon wrapper, African Cameroon wrapper.
Who was that? That was who? Where's it from?
African Cameroon wrapper. So Nicaraguan through and through.
The N word. What was that? Not the N word, but the N word.
Cameroon.
That's C.
Yeah, I said Cameroon. N word. What's
the N word? Not C.
Nicaraguan.
Yeah, that one.
Did I say it right?
I don't know. Black people can't say it. That's why I wanted to hear you say it. So look, my cigar is Nicaraguan through and through. I hope I said it right. Also, I don't know, man.
I'm glad. Hey, make me laugh.
Inhale some cigars.
Well, I was laughing, man. Okay.
So look.
Hey, does that ever make you feel like an amateur, like when you're smoking and then you had that get choked up a little bit? Like, man, I hope nobody saw that. Especially if you're in a cigar lounge, you don't want to be that guy.
You do not want to cough in a cigar lounge, and I've caught myself on the verge of a cough. You got
try to hold it like, better pull that back. Better pull that back.
It's the worst because you ain't got no business inhaling it no way. You know what I'm saying? So like, why would you be in there coughing? Like.
It's like, man, you're looking real amateurish right now. You're looking very amateurish right now. And because like the thing is, like, the way people perceive a cigar smoker is like it's an extra cool type of, you know what I'm saying, way of being, I guess, for lack of better words. The word I want to use escaped me, but it's one of those cool vibe things. So it's like you got to be super cool when you're smoking a cigar. So the minute you start coughing and choking on your cigar, it's like. It messes up the,
yeah, that whole element.
So nobody wants to be that guy. Yeah. You never want to be that guy. But it happens. I think it happens to the best of us, man. Like we've been smoking cigars for way too long, and for these to be for it to still happen, just like it did when we were brand new to it. And I think at first when we were brand new to it, that didn't really happen to me as much. I think it happens to me more now because I'm less careful. It's like, okay, you're doing other stuff. I've been doing this. I like my cigar. I'm puffing, whatever. Smoke gets here and there. You're thinking, you're laughing, conversating or conversing or whatever. And then all of a sudden, boom, it gets you. But when you first start, you're kind of more careful. You're taking in the moment a little bit more. Right. So it didn't happen as much early on.
You're very in your natural element smoking cigars now. Mm-hmm. You'll take a chance laughing and everything with a mouthful of smoke. But that's how that happens.
Yeah.
Now. Like,
yeah, so it catches you off guard
out before you ever let that happen. Like,
right. Well, man. So check this out.
What's up?
I had a conversation with you earlier today, and you brought into perspective of where the whole idea came from, or maybe the whole explanation truly came from, but didn't explain it the way that was put out. So I sent you a video of interview, you already seen it, of Neo talking about the song he wrote for Beyonce, the Irreplaceable song. To the left, all of that stuff. And the way he explained it or why he decided to give the song away. And it kind of grinded my gears a little bit, you know what I mean? Just off of the double standard. A lot of times people look at the double standard for women. Oh, if they do that, but we do that, we can't do that because they do. When they do it, it's cool. When I do it, you know what I'm saying, it's double standard. But now I see it on the flip reverse, and it's happening. To me, it looks like it's happening more and more often to where it's the flip side of the double standard is more towards the man than it is towards the woman now. Before it was more the woman get the back end of the double standard. Now it seems like men are getting the back end of the double standard. And the whole Irreplaceable song, he wrote it from a man's perspective. But then he came back and said, you know what, if I put it out like that, it'll be misogynistic. But if I make it from a woman's perspective, it's empowering. Where do you feel like in the idea of that double standard when like you feel like maybe things seem to be shifting in a way that a man can do it, but it's bad when he do it, but then when a woman do it, it's an empowering thing, and you see that happen more and more in some cases. And that was just one case that kind of just stuck out to me right then and there, like kind of thrown in my face, like, man, wow, that is kind of crazy. So if he says, I find another you in a minute, I'll find another female to replace you in a minute, that's misogynistic. But a woman can tell a man, I can find another man in a minute, that's empowering to the female. Yeah. So it's cool when you do it, it's a problem when I do
it. Yeah. And the way I said it to you earlier is pretty much, I don't think that it's misogynistic to say that. It just is what it is. You know what I'm saying? Either person can say it to one another. A guy can say it to a woman, it is what it is. Mm-hmm. A woman can say it to a guy, it is what it is. But so it's not misogynistic. I think if Neo just didn't keep it real and just say there's more money.
There's more money.
It's more money in me having a woman say it than it is a man saying that.
Yeah.
Because if a man say it, it's just another song about how many females he got. You know what I'm saying? Or
right.
Right. If a woman say it, yeah, it does have an empowering feeling to them. You know what I'm saying? Because they have such a hard time leaving a relationship.
But don't get me wrong. Like when you put in that perspective that it's more so about dollar signs, because guess what? Mm-hmm. If he has a woman say it, it's gonna sell more. You're gonna garner more attention. If you have a man said, "Oh, here we go again," nobody really cares. And then also, the man ain't really gonna back it like that. They ain't gonna be in the car riding to it, be like, "Yeah, you hear that?" You know what I'm saying? Like, they gotta put that to the side because they woman gonna be looking at them upside of their head, like, "I know you ain't singing this.
Right?
I know you ain't singing it."
It ain't the lyrics. What he said, men ain't gonna get behind that anyway because it don't sound player. You know what I'm saying? It would have just sounded like some old, I don't know, some little punk dude, man. So I'm saying, you know what I'm saying? He's just been like some. It wouldn't have been cool. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? From a guy, I couldn't get behind that. Like, talking about I can have another you in a minute. Like, don't.
Yeah, you can't go home and say that. You can't go home and say that. You can't go home and play that song. You can't ride that in your whip. I mean, you just can't do it.
The lyrics sound effeminate. You know what I'm saying? So even if it would have came from a man, it just sounds like something a man wouldn't say. I wouldn't say it that way. Even if I felt it, I'd have said it. It have came straight from my testicles and out my mouth a whole nother way. Like, you know what I'm saying? It
with a different vibrato about it, yeah.
Different vibrato.
But it's just,
man. So the way he wrote it, he should have gave it to a girl. That's something a girl would say.
Yeah. Man. I get that. I completely get that. I had to step aside, like after you mentioned that, like, you know what, that does make sense. But it just hit me in the chest, like, man, like why something got to be misogynistic? But then the same thing that a woman does is empowering. Like, that just did not sit right.
He was playing it too safe by saying that. That's all that was. Like, that's like that whole yay girl power. Like, that's why he said that for that whole thing. But you ain't got to say that, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying? Just say, hey, it make more sense for me to get that to a girl because that's going to make more money with a woman than it would me speaking on behalf of the fellas talking that way. They ain't going to care about it. The women, they'll love it. So I gave it to a woman because I'm trying to make some money. Say that. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Say that. Just say that.
But don't put out that narrative that we hating women if a man was to say that. Because in reality, either side can feel that way. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, and be absolutely right about it. You know what I'm saying? And that's true. That's factual. But it's just, I hate that he put it out there that way.
That's why he did it. He did it like that. But a lot of that's playing up on the times. You know what I'm saying? Like, okay, I know what times we in and it ain't safe. manhood ain't safe to really brag on now. So you know what I'm saying? The manhood really ain't safe to show that you backing it. So let me just downplay manhood because that's where we at now. Everything is downplaying. It's no.
But don't you feel like that's dangerous? Don't you feel like that's dangerous though? Don't you feel like that's dangerous?
Very dangerous because eventually one of these Chinese boys is gonna be in my yard with a pistol in my face if we keep downplaying manhood.
Like with the standpoint that of where masculinity is and manhood is, that's a very dangerous position to have. You know what I'm saying? It's like that's just one notch and one way to hinder it yet again. Here we are. When manhood is struggling so much. Man, I was in this course, this equal opportunity course, about maybe a month ago or so, and talking about gender roles and gender identity and things like that. And sorry to go here for a second, but it rubbed me the wrong way, and I felt like I was the only. I felt like I was on an island in this course. I wasn't the oldest person there. I was in the older percentage of the people in class. The majority of everybody there was 30 and under, and there was a handful of us that were, 30 plus, almost 40 and up. But I was on hiring, but there were still older people there. So I'm like, but I still felt like I was on an island with this idea. And they were talking about how you shouldn't empower a kid to, have a boy play with boy things and have a girl play with girl things. Like that's not a thing. We shouldn't do that anymore. You shouldn't have a boy do boy stuff because now you're pushing gender role or gender identity on an individual. You know what I'm saying? You should let that, you should just, no, it should just be whatever. And I'm sitting there like, no, man, no. I'm going to push what we consider boy stuff on my boy, and I'm going to push what I consider girl stuff on my girl. There's certain things in like that I don't think that people get as we're coming to this point of losing gender identity and kind of everything kind of becoming mixed. There's power in a woman in their femininity. There's power there. And then there's power in men in their masculinity. And there's saying certain things I want my boy to start doing as a young boy. So when he grows up, he grows in a way because guess what? Regardless if he grows up and decides to be whatever, but if he so happens to choose to be a man when he grows up, I guess we got the power of choice to choose what gender we want to be. But he does decide to be a man when he grows up and choose to walk out in this world as a man, and he has to do man things, and he's looked at as like a man. So he's going to have that expectation of man. You are a man. So he's going to have some things that he possesses that he can only get as he grows up and starts to latch onto those things and walk as a man and be able to withstand certain things in manhood. And we shouldn't tear those things away from our kids and say, okay, no, just because we got to make sure that things are equal across. No, there's power in femininity and there's power in masculinity. And we got to grow our children up in both of those. I want my daughter to know her femininity and know that the power that she has in that femininity. I don't want to strip that away from her just because I want to make sure that we have gender neutral everything. It's not fair.
Right. Hey man, I agree with what you're saying, and just to start at this point. So when we have things that we think of as what boys are into and things that we think of that girls are into, how did we conclude to those things? We concluded those things because obviously more boys were leaning towards these things and more girls were leaning towards these things, and therefore the stereotype was created. See, we get so to the point where we don't understand that a lot of stereotypes are birthed from a real place. You know what I'm saying? And it doesn't mean it goes across the board. It don't all fit in the same box, but it's
based on something.
It's based on something.
It has a base somewhere.
Yes.
And it has a base of thousands and thousands of years of humans existing.
Yes. When they just were naturally being what they wanted to be and they weren't worried about society judging them for being what they are, they were this. And boys tended to be that and the girls tended to be this.
And that's crazy. Like you got somebody who lives on one side of the world, other side of the world where there is no social media, but so there's no way that they can look and say, you know what, this is what a boy should be or what a girl should be
as a boy. Yeah.
Because of what some kind of influence. No, this is like, and how crazy is it that somebody who speaks another language, looks a totally different way, in a different part of the world, has the similar characteristics, different culture, all of those things as somebody over here. It has to be something to it. Right. They've never met each other. They don't know each other's walks of life. They don't know each other's language. They don't know anything about their history. But somehow there's some similarities between that person over here and that person over there based on their gender.
Right.
It's based on something.
So with that being said, we have these things, we categorize them as for boys and for girls for a reason. It's not birthed out of thin air. So with that being said, now it brings us to us as parents. As a parent, modern day parenting says, give your children the freedom to decide these things. But this concept does not necessarily apply as sound advice across the board. Because with my children, I would not go out there and tell them, hey, you eat whatever you want. Whatever makes you happy, you just eat whatever you want. You know, I'm not going to make that decision for you. I would give them some sort of guidance and advice because I know that in order to be healthy and have good, healthy teeth and a good diet and be...
This is what you need to do. You need to make sure you drink this, eat this, brush your teeth, do that, X, Y, and Z.
Things in order to grow up into a good adult and have a good, healthy adult with a good, healthy smile. Now, when it comes to gender and these things, we tend not to think the same way. We don't say, hey, you need a little bit of guidance. You know what I'm saying? Let me guide and direct you. I can't just let you run free. So you are a boy. So these are the things that boys do. So one day you can grow up and be a good example of a man. Now, when you're a child, I control what you eat. I control your diet because I know if I left it up to you, you're going to do something that's not necessarily in the best interest of yourself. But when you become an adult, you are free to eat what you want. I cannot control your diet anymore, but I gave you the foundation of what you needed to know to have a healthy diet.
Yeah.
As a parent, I have to say to my child, you're a male, you're a boy, you're male. These are the things you need to know to be a good male and a good man one day. And once you're an adult, it's your choice to decide what you want to do from that point on. But I do have to give you guidance to point you in the right direction to be one and not just let you run free. And that's my thought process on it. Give your children guidance. Because if you let them run free, who knows what they're going to come up with. But they're not. If that was the case, if they didn't need your guidance, then go set your 5-year-old free. Go let them live in the world on their own now.
and that's the crazy thing. Like we want us to guide them in everything else except that now. Like for some reason now, no. He's doing that. Don't correct him. No, let him. No, I'm gonna correct him. I'm gonna say no. This is what you should do. Now, give him guidance. Now, granted, but by the time you become an adult, like you said, and this is what you choose to do, that's what you choose to do. But like I said before, if you so choose to be a man, and I didn't give you guidance as a child, as a young teenager, preteen, whatever, adolescence, and now you grow up and you don't have certain tools that I should have gave you as a father to a young man, to a young woman. Yeah. Now you're looking at me like I don't know how to function and be successful in this world, and the world is chomping me down because I don't know how to step into my manhood now. I got to figure out how to become a man because somebody told me that I'm not supposed to have a gender influence on my child. Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah, but look, if there's a kid running around in the store, it's the parents' role to let them know, hey, don't do that. Don't knock the stuff over in the store. Don't cut people off. Don't do all these things. You would give them guidance and direction on how to be a good human being in society. You got them in all these other places. Why can't I guide them in how, as a male in this society, how you should behave? This is how you should behave
why?
In order to be the person.
Because masculinity is under attack. You didn't hear from me.
Yeah.
It's the tequila talking. But
it's under attack. But no, that's under attack. But this is the thing. It should like you said earlier, it's a dangerous place to be because we need it. Because there's other countries
and then,
that it ain't under attack in. That's why I said earlier about the Chinese boy with a gun in my face down the line. China
because they're getting
manhood.
They're clearly promoting manhood. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
and it's cool.
And controlling this country soon. If we don't,
and that's what I was getting at too. Like now, when you need and you want a good, strong man, now you turn to the left, to your right, 50 years from now, and you're like, I don't. Where all the good men at? Where are the strong men at? Where are the masculine men? Like not saying that women can't do the things that men could do on the protective side, on the strength side, but there's a limit to it. There's a limit to how many and how much. But if you have 100 women,
equivalent, it's gonna get rough on you. If we just being honest,
yeah.
You know what I'm
saying? if you have 100 women, maybe 20 of those women will be hyper masculine and have some of those qualities. So they got 20% out of 80. But then out of those 20 women, now you look at how much. So how many and then how much? There's not that many, but there are some. But then how far can they go versus how many men are willing to be masculine, and then how far can they go in their masculinity? Like we talk about in the military, like women becoming infantrymen and going into Rangers. Like there's several women who've done it. But even the strongest, best woman who has become a Ranger can't outperform the strongest man who's a Ranger. You know what I'm saying? It's like, for one, there's very few of those women who go to Ranger school and get their Ranger tab or go to Ranger bat. But even the best of the best can't touch the best of the best man. I'm sorry. And people like, and I'm sitting in this class and we're having these conversations. It shouldn't be, right? It shouldn't be, because you, like, to me, I would think that a woman would want that man to be.
My strength ain't your strength. Like, just people don't
like I said,
no more. You want to be good at what I'm good at, and vice versa. And it's just like I can't do what women do, but you might not be able to do what I can do. But there, on the flip side, like you said, there's going to be a certain amount of women. There's some women that can whoop me, but you can't whoop your male equivalent. Like, but that's fine.
Exactly.
Do what you good at, because he can't do what you do good. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. But just like I said earlier.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
No, I was just saying, like I said earlier, there's power in masculinity and power in femininity. There's power on both sides.
Mm-hmm. So, and then on Netflix, there's a show called Physical 100. Have you heard of it?
No, I haven't.
It's in Korea. Based in Korea, they got all the we had to lift a heavy weight. All that stuff going on with the mouth ain't moving, matching up the words.
Yeah.
It's interesting, right? Because they take like men and women and they have them compete in these physical contests to see who ends up being the final person left out of 100. And that determines just the best athlete. And they have the men competing directly with women in a lot of these competitions. And most of the women in Korea, they like, hey, I just want to beat other women. They already know they can't beat the guys. Mm-hmm. But ultimately, they didn't outlast the guys. But where they had the advantage was there were certain competitions where you had to plan things and you had to have strategy. The women tend to thrive, and they even beat some of the stronger guys in those competitions. Because that's your strength. You know what I'm saying? Like,
you got certain strengths,
just get out there and we wing it. We don't read instructions. We just go in. Like, you know what I'm saying? And they had planned strategy and they won there. That's where you take your strengths. You know what I'm saying? Like, even us as males, we got to know our strengths and our weaknesses. If you're in a relationship, the balance is there going to be things that the women are good at and things the men are good at. Now, I'm not going to sit here and say that women need to cook and clean. Not necessarily that. In a lot of cases, men are better cooks. So it ain't even that. You know what I'm saying? But it's a matter of what do you do good in this household, and we're going to let you be the person to control that. You know what I'm saying? And what do I do good, and I'll be the person to do that. And we as a society have to be comfortable in that. But it's too much of your role sounds good, so I want to do that. Or stop holding your role over my head that you good at that. Yeah. Like, you know, I want to be good at it too.
Like sitting back and saying, like, yo, you get to do that. That looks good. I want to be able to do that, but you're not good at it. That's not what you're good at. You know what I'm saying? Like, you want to step into my role, but that's not where your strong suit is. You just want that role because it has some kind of
it looks
thing
flashy.
to it.
Yeah, it's got a
Looks
little more pizzazz in your role.
I want to be able to say I'm the one who did this and did that, but that's not where your strong suit is. You know what I'm saying? Like the thing that a woman might do good in the household, I can't sit back and say I want to be that because it comes with these accolades because you do that. If I don't do it well, I recognize that. I'm a man. Certain things I'm not going to be able to do. Certain things I shouldn't want to have to do that because guess what? I got my strong suits. I should want to have to do the things that I know that are going to be beneficial from my standpoint. Right. I want you to do the things that are going to be beneficial from your standpoint because you're good at that. I'm good at that. Let's bring them together and then boom. Instead of trying to cross these lines. Like you said, like not even the cooking thing. Like actually, when you think about it, there's more male cooks in industry than there are women. You know what I'm saying? Especially on a top level. Like, look at it. It's a true thing. There's a lot of male chefs that are worldwide famous. So to sit back and say, a woman, nah, you're the person who need to cook. No, you're the nurturer. Be that.
Yeah, you got
power in that.
Yeah. There's definitely a lot of power in it. And look, get this. A lot of that, to me, this is all ego is really what it comes down to. Because you think about it. If I say play your role, that sounds offensive. But I don't say that like without me not willing to follow those same instructions. Like I'm willing to, I'm the type of dude that if we had a basketball team going, I'll play a role if I'm not the best player on the team, gladly. I'll sit back, I'll be sixth man if I need to be, wherever you need me. Because I don't have no ego when it comes to winning as a team. But as a society, we're reaching a place where it's a lot of ego involved and people, they don't want to win.
Yeah, and sometimes you gotta be what you need to be in order to survive, thrive, and win. You know, I can try to be the number one option, but is me being the number one option going to be the best for this team, or me being the number three option going to be what benefits us?
Right.
Me being the number two option, is that going to be what benefits us? Everything doesn't have to go through me. Can it go through you and then ride it through me, and that makes us successful? If it does, then that's what needs to happen.
Right.
But anyway, off my soapbox.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know, man. Hopefully we'll get to that point. You know, I think a lot of it has to do with, you know, women feeling like they didn't get their shine for a long time, and we reached this point because of that. And that might be the case, but a lot of it, I mean, where we're at today, we're entering a place where it's becoming too much. We're beating a dead horse when it comes to that, you know, in terms of like, okay, you're getting your shine now. We're gonna let's figure out a way to come up together, though. You know what I'm saying? Like, because ultimately, bringing me down to lift you up doesn't work. If anything, we need to bring each other up to here. And you take
let's not trample.
Yeah. Because look,
let's not trample masculinity. Go ahead.
No, we don't need to trample it because if we break our duties down and whatever we need to do, if you're stronger, you're the stronger one, and you end up doing 60, I do 40. My 40 matters. You know what I'm saying? Like we can't have 100. We can't have a whole number without my 40%. So take pride in your 40%, and vice versa for women also in society. You know, if all that you're good at is 40% of the whole totality of things, do your 40% and be proud of it. Like, because we can't win without your 40%. Like, and the same thing goes for men. If the women happen to be the person that's 60% in their favor, fine. You know what I'm saying? Ain't got no ego towards that. But like, stop acting like you don't need us and bringing us down and making us a weaker version of who we are. Like, you know what I'm saying? We need to be the best version of us. Y'all need to be the best version of y'all. And what they say, the cream rises to the top. You know what I'm saying? Like, whoever's the best just ends up being the best. It is what it is. But don't bring me down and get to the top. And then we all functioning at 50% when the rest of the world is functioning at 100%.
100% on all cylinders.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Halfway mark, man. Let's get into these cigars, man. I'm sorry, man.
Hey, look, I was on my soapbox and I brought you on the soapbox too. We both got on it. But yeah, so my Oliva, man. Let's talk about it. I was gonna save some of this for the for the final review. But I will say here at my finishing this the first third, going into the second third. I think I just started the second third, looking at the length of the cigar. It really did some flips and changes in that first third. I can't count how many flavors on one hand that I think I've went through over that first third. Like it just went through so many, like throughout the conversation, I try to make sure I was taking note of what was going on. But I swear this cigar has done some dips, peaks, troughs, all of that, just all in that first third. And that first few minutes of that of this conversation, man. Like I said, at first it was good. Like okay. When I mentioned that I was confused as far as what the cigar was doing, what kind of flavor. Like, was it good? Was it bad? Was it this? Was it that? And I would tell you that characteristic has traveled throughout the first third. Like it just ever changing throughout that first third, ever changing, which was fun. I would say, like, while I was smoking a cigar, while we were having a conversation, I'm sitting back. I'm like, wow, this is actually fun. Like, because I can't put a finger on it. Like, is it good? Is it doing this? Where's it at? It hasn't settled to anything yet, but it just gave me some a roller coaster ride to that first third, man. It's a fun cigar so far. I'm gonna leave it at that.
Would that be fun? Is that a one-time fun thing, or is that like I could do that again? I save it for the end.
I could do it again.
Okay.
All right.
For mine, it's the only thing that's new that's been introduced to that toasty coffee is just a little bit of earth tones, some of the earth
okay
tones that you pick up on. A little subtle bit of not leather, but pepper. Just very subtle.
Okay.
Kind of was in the mix in there, but it blended in real well. With some of that toastiness. It was smooth. So,
yeah,
that's
I didn't.
What I got.
Okay, I didn't go into any flavors. I was getting off the cigar, which we usually do talk about in that first third or the halfway mark. A lot of nuttiness, some cocoa in there, even a bit of molasses, And I would say that's kind of like it's kind of like the undertone throughout the cigar is this molasses taste that I'm getting kind of like just in the back. As it's going through this up and down, it's just like a solid molasses at the bottom, at the base of it, which is nice. Something that kind of does level it out, even through the ups and like all the roller coaster ride that I've been getting so far. That molasses just kind of keeps it there.
Yeah. Cool. I always like the little molasses in the mix, man. That's pretty nice. Mm-hmm. So now we're gonna switch gears a little bit, man. Something. I know we didn't talk about this. We didn't really have no subject laid out, but we didn't talk about this. But this is random. I've been having some people around me kind of talk to me about stuff that got real. A lot of people are starting to come to terms with their age around me. You know what I'm saying? We're at that age.
Okay.
And I feel like I'm having people in my circle that's starting to run into some midlife crisis, man. I feel like I had mine about 2 years ago, a year or two ago. I think I might have had one,
Okay.
But every once in a while, I kind of got over it. But every once in a while, I have a moment where it hits me again. And for me, I told you I've been listening to Luther lately. And I was just listening to, you remember I sent you that Bad Boy Having a Party by Luther Vandross?
Mm-hmm. It's a jam.
I was listening to Luther, man, and Luther was just talking about having a good time. And I was thinking to myself, wow, man, the music in the 80s was just it was fun. The house parties was like on some different time. You know what I'm saying? It was just dancing and enjoying yourself. And the music was about that. It wasn't about all this other stuff. And Luther was sounding good. Everything was a vibe. And I'm just like, man, wow, man, Luther was black excellence, man. And it just hit me. Luther ain't here no more, man. And I just was
oh my God,
he was so great. He's just gone. And it made me just think about my own mortality sometimes, man. It was just like, I'm getting older, man. And all the people around me that was great is gone. And it just reminds you of your age and how times have changed. And I don't know, man. It's weird, man. Did you ever find yourself thinking about your how far you progressing along in life, man? Have you come to terms with that, man? Or
I
you have not looked at
I have come to terms with it. And pretty much on the same lines that you're on. Yesterday I saw a video of Wanya Morris's kids from Boyz II Men singing "Ribbon in the Sky" to Stevie Wonder. Beautiful. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. And I was like, man, I'm looking at Stevie like, wow, that's Stevie Wonder. Like one of the last bit of our great legends. And I was seeing another video of Michael Jordan enjoying his 60th birthday. I'm like, man, Michael Jordan is 60. You know what I'm saying? And then thinking about my parents and thinking about this and that, like it actually hit me. And then I've been on this Michael Jackson thing lately. I don't know what it is. My algorithm has just been throwing Michael Jackson at me. I'm like, man, and you talking about like Luther, and you talking about people who had this big bright light, and that light's no more. I was listening to somebody talking about Biggie. I was like, man, we only here for like that. It just lasts for a second, man. Like no matter how big and bright your light is, how big and bright your star is, it's gonna dim one day. And just looking at Stevie, man, and the other video I sent you about with Ron Isley. Yeah, I was like, man, our legends, they're. It comes a point in time, man, and it's sad. Like it's, but then like you said, like does it bring to your own mortality? Like yeah, man, one day my light's gonna be dim, but now that also charges me with okay, how bright can I get my light to shine during the time I have? Yeah. What can I leave here? What can I spread? What can I do to impact somebody else that's gonna make me last forever? In a sense, you know what I'm saying? Yeah. Whether it's me impacting somebody and somebody taking what I impacted them to impact somebody else and just leaving that legacy of impacting one person and that one person impacting another person. So the more people I impact, those are more people who are going to take that information and take that energy and take that and give it to somebody else. And that continues to last forever. So yeah, man, I've definitely been in that space. I don't know if it's a midlife crisis type of thing, but it definitely has come and stemmed from me looking at our legends and looking at the legends who aren't here anymore and our legends who are aging and they're getting to that point and just cherishing, like you're talking about that black excellence that we used to have and trying to rekindle a piece of that. It's like, man, look at what we used to be, man. Like this is like, look at what we used to be. And look, I hate to say it. I hate to sound like that old guy. It's like, man,
look, let it out. Go ahead and let it out. Say it.
but look at what we are now. Look at what we call our legends now, our stars now. They ain't what they was back in the 70s, 60s, 80s, early 90s. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Like that energy we was given back then. So it makes you want to reach back into that space. And trying to pull that forward, and it's like, come on, man, let's not forget us, man. Let's not forget us. Let's not forget you. Let's not forget what we should be, what we are, where we have been and where we can go. You know what I mean? So
all them times,
I definitely.
And it's interesting to hear that, man, because it just makes me. Whenever I go back to the legends, I end up proud and sad immediately right after.
Sad at the same time. Yeah.
I looked at Teddy Pendergrass. I got into Teddy a while back, man. And I just was binging Teddy, and I was like, man, just listen to him. He's powerful. That's a man. This is not Teddy sounding. and then I just seen him right before he died when he was getting sick and stuff, and I was just, and I'm like, Teddy gone, and it just hurt me, man. I'm like, dang, man.
Yeah. You look at somebody like Muhammad Ali, man, and how he was before he passed, and you saying how outspoken he was. And it's like, man, that's look at this, what his star used to be. Thing was bright.
And think bright. When they was doing it. Think when they was doing it. The world they were doing it in, that's the foundation for what allows us to live how we live now. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like these are the innovators. These are the people that created the culture and the legacy and built it and made us the stars we are today. And now we just look back at everybody call them old heads and laugh at them now. And it's like, you realize
oh man,
people was out there doing segregation, like, you know what I'm saying? When it was, you couldn't even be Ali. Speaking of Muhammad Ali, how Ali used to talk to white people back when you would get hung for that, and now you get people like they won't even speak out and say nothing against nobody nowadays. Like, you know, when he was doing it,
man,
when your life was on the line to say something, like
that man was serious about it too. Hey,
just gone.
I sent you that video about Ron Isley. He was doing a concert sitting down, and I sent you the video because I want you to look at the comments. Man, those comments disgusted me so bad. Like, oh, we need to retire this and that. Let that man live, man. Let that man do what brings him joy. That man that did 60 plus years of work. Let that man do what he does that he enjoys. He enjoys getting up there and singing his songs. Whether he got to sit down or whatever. If that's what bring that man joy, he deserves it. He's earned it. Nobody needs to say nothing. I'm like, how dare anybody say anything negative about this man being? It's not like he's doing anything like anything criminal. Like if he's out there doing something criminal, you need you need to sit down. Like how they said O.J. Simpson, bro, just go sit down, go disappear, don't say nothing, don't be seen. So you're not doing anything. Like man's doing his passion, which is to sing them songs that he created years ago, and that still brings other people joy. It brings him joy. And to see these people in these comments talking bad about, dude need to do this. Nah, man, I don't care if you can only sing to a whisper and you got to lay down in a hospital bed. And if that brings you joy, you earn the right to be able to do what brings you joy. As long as people are willing to sit down and listen to you do it, you earn that. Right. And it's like, man, where are we at in society?
Maybe Ron need that money. Because he came up in a time where our greats didn't get paid that great. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, he ain't getting paid what 21 Savage getting paid today or Drake getting paid today. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
He didn't get that.
So let that man go get what he's due. Yeah. Maybe he got to.
Let's say he's doing it for love. You better enjoy Ron's victory lap while he can do it. You better enjoy the Isley brothers' victory lap while they own it. Because one day he ain't going to be here and you ain't going to be able to watch that. But if you can say I got to see him live, you better go get a ticket right now because that's black excellence. That's a legend. You know what I'm saying? And for R&B music all together, like a lot of y'all here today because Ron was putting it down how he's putting it down. Like, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Look at this way. I'm a boxing fan, so I seen somebody they were clowning Mayweather because he had a fight recently and it didn't sell too well.
Man. I seen that. I seen
and somebody was like, somebody had the best take on it. They were like, look, I watched Floyd not on some fan stuff, but I recognize that he is one of the best to ever do it. And I'm going to enjoy him while I get the chance to see him because there's going to come a day I don't get to see him no more in the ring. Yeah. And what he did, you can still see glimpses of how special he is right now. So instead of clowning it, I'm just going to appreciate greatness in the moment instead of appreciating it when he's dead. And we do that too often with our people. We clown him. Like,
I've seen those comments too. I've seen those comments like talking about, oh, nobody showed up, nobody doing this, so you need to retire. He said he was retired, so he needs to go sit down. No, he retired from professional boxing. That doesn't mean he's retired from doing something that he loves. If he wants to get up and spar, have an exhibition, and do whatever, and if he's willing to sell tickets for it, then so be it. Like you said, there's going to be somebody who says, you know what, I never got a chance to see Floyd in his prime, and I never got to see him in a ring. I want to go see him in the ring. You know what I'm saying? And if he's willing to do it, and it brings him joy to do it, like I said about Ron Isley, he's earned it. He's earned it. And I think that comes from people just, getting to this. Maybe these are people who never got to live out their dreams and their aspirations, and they never got to do something they love. Or maybe they do, and maybe they don't understand that just because you're on a big stage or a bigger stage like me in music and even martial arts, man, every now and then I try to get out there and I try to do something, and I'm always going to do it. I can't do it how I used to do it 10, 15, 20 years ago. But guess what? I'm going to do it because it brings me joy. You know what I'm saying? I'm going to continue to do it. But I don't have an audience. But if I had an audience, guess what? I do the same thing. I'm gonna do it because this is what brings me joy. Because I earned it.
Bro, look, if Magic and Bird said we're gonna sell tickets to a game of 21 1-on-1, if I could afford to go to the game, I'd want to go.
I'm watching.
Why not?
I want to watch.
You know
I'm watching.
Instead of clowning the two old dudes, be like, hey, look, man, those is two of the greatest to ever do it. And the NBA wouldn't exist today if it weren't for them two. I'm gonna go watch that. You know what I'm saying? Like,
yeah. But now,
because I know they old. It is what it is. They're old. The goal is to get old for all of us. Just let it be, and I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah, it is. Come on now. You done said a word right there. Like, how do you clown somebody who's doing something and they're old? Bro, we all gonna get there. And like you said, the goal is to get old. If I don't get old, that's a problem. Something happened. Something's wrong with that. I should get old. I should get to the point of not being able to do what I used to do at the same level because I've aged and I've lived my life and I've thrived and I've done things, but I'm here. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, the goal is to get old, but to get old in the best way I can possibly do it. And if Magic and, like you said, Magic and Bird are willing to suit up and they willing to get out there, like you said, and play a game of 21, like how dope would that be? I'm glad you said that because that actually is dope. I want that to happen. I want to see Isaiah don't get out there and do something. You know what I'm saying? That would be so fun. That would be so fun to watch. But people, like you said, people would be.
I would, yes, do a 3-on-3, please. You know what I'm saying? But people would have something to say about that, bro. Like,
oh my God.
And I guarantee man. A lot of them saying if Magic, Bird, Isaiah, Mike, and whoever, you know what I'm saying? Whoever else was great from that era. If they got together, let's say them four, they got together and did a 2-on-2. I bet they still would be playing at a higher level than the average Joe.
They beat me. They beat me.
You know
if you, Mike, Chancey, and give me one other person. Demo, whoever got together and we played 4-on-4. You know what I'm saying? Against the boys, they run us, man. Come on now. Got us about 20-some years. They were runners. But we look at our legends, especially black people to black folk. You know what I'm saying? I'm not so familiar with how other cultures are. I'm pretty sure they're better than we are. But especially in our culture, we tear down our legends just because they're not what they used to be to us. They're not doing what they used to do, how they used to do it. And anytime they start to look different, we tear them down. Man, I watch Stevie, man. If I can go to a Stevie Wonder concert, man, man, come on now.
And you better buy them tickets because you don't know when the last time you ever be able to see them. And that's a moment you can be able to brag on for the rest of your life. We don't appreciate that stuff. You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
Y'all better go buy your LeBron tickets. Everybody that think LeBron is the GOAT, you better go get you a ticket.
Shout out to LeBron. I'm not the biggest LeBron fan. He's not my GOAT. But man, I can sure enough appreciate him. Yeah. I think what LeBron to me, he is very reminiscent of the Muhammad Ali's in his day, the Magic of his time, the Michael Jackson of his moment. You know what I'm saying? And we don't appreciate our legends in their twilight. We don't appreciate our legends in the downside of their careers. Even though LeBron's still doing it at a high level, man, give that man his flowers, man. Because once he's out the league, he's out the league.
Yeah.
He's out the league.
He's one of the greatest
and
ever.
Things are gonna look real different.
Regardless of all the other stuff that come around him, we can do that. We can nitpick anybody's career. You know what I'm saying? Sometimes it's fun, but I mean, at the end of the day, that man one of the best to ever do it. You know, and guess you know what I did? I know you remember this. Kobe last season, I went to a Laker game. I went and got to see Kobe in person. I never watched him ever. Yeah, out in LA. You remember I sent you videos from. You probably don't remember, but I mean, yeah, I went watched him.
I know. I watched it. I watched the last game too. Okay, you got to see his farewell tour.
But it
the last game, but it was during that season.
Last game. That last season, yeah. I went to go.
You know what?
Playing the Knicks.
I probably. You probably did. You probably did send it to me. You probably did. I think I remember.
Yeah, but that was important, man. And to just feel the energy of the arena, watch him just be casual and friendly with people. And hey, man, he went on a nice little tear when he got in the game in the fourth. They set him for a long time, but it was good. Now I can say that forever. I can see one of the greatest of all time in person. Yeah, it wasn't in his prime, but I got to see him. You know what I'm saying? I didn't get to go watch Jordan in his prime play for the Bulls. You know what I'm saying? But
now you say that you made me want to go see LeBron play, man. let his last season come around, man. I've been saying that, Tony. I'm going to the Spurs game.
Right. Now I did get to see Mike in a pickup game. I don't know if I ever told you this, but this was in.
Nah, you never told me that.
I got to see Mike in a pickup game. I used to go to his basketball camp in the 90s.
Okay. I know you told me you used to go to those camps, but I never knew Mike was there.
Yeah,
that's cool.
Yeah. He would come. He would play in his camp. You know, he wouldn't do a lot of playing, but he'd come shoot around and play in the game, pick up game for a little bit and get out. So I did get to see that. But yeah, man, I don't know, man. We got a difference of opinion, man. And I think that is definitely a generational thing. And I hope this new generation learns to find appreciation.
Find appreciation
before it's too late.
And enjoy I would say this, especially for the legends of their time, their newer legends. As these young guys are growing up, learn to embrace your legends that are right now, and those who are to come. Because our legends of our time, okay, they might not have any appreciation for them like we do, which I still don't get. Because Marvin Gaye died when mid-'80s. Yeah. I might have been like 1, 2, 3, but bet your bottom dollar, I definitely appreciated Marvin. And he was gone before I could realize who he was.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Parents, that's our fault. We the parents now. That's our fault.
Put it on us.
Yeah, we the parents now.
I guess we got to raise our kids. We got to raise our kids better and let them know, for one, give them an education. Like some of them videos I sent you and that black excellence, and say, this is what we were, man. This is us. This is us. And then let them have that kind of realization of their own and appreciate those ones who are great now too. And there's a lot of BS that's out there right now, but there's some great ones that's coming up and that will be coming in the future that they're going to want to hold on to and learn how to appreciate what they had and what they got, because it ain't going to last forever.
Yeah, my son's 6, and I've been going through a thing now. Like he asked me what R&B music is, and I was trying to help him understand the difference in genres. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I didn't know how to put it to him as a kid. Like, you know what I'm saying? At that age, these are the difference in genres. You know what I'm saying? But I just been going through a lot of music with him. Like, you know what I'm saying? Like trying to get him to understand that it just sound different, son. You know what I'm saying? Like, your ear got it.
Yeah, because nowadays music, that's like we talk about gender. Nowadays music is non-binary.
Yeah, it is. So he having a tough time understanding that there's a difference, but I get it because the music that is on the radio now it just blends. It's all one thing, you know. So I got to take him to the oldies and be like, this is what R&B sound like, son. This is soul music, and this is that, you know. But man, let's go ahead and close out, man. Let's get into these cigar reviews.
Okay. All right, let's talk about it.
I'll go first because I want to hear yours. I'm excited about your roller coaster.
Okay.
I have not gone on a roller coaster. I have been pretty much in the same ballpark. I've been dealing with my the cocoa, the woodiness, the that earthiness anyway. A little bit of coffee, a little bit of spice, tad bit of leather. I've been kind of picking up here on the end, but everything has been a very good blend. I like the cigar, man. I'll give it a we go 1 to 5 on the rate, and I say 4. I say 4.
Really?
I feel like I
4 on the Perdomo.
But I'm gonna end it at 4. Yeah.
Okay.
But it's a really good 4. It's a 4 where I'm tempted to give it more.
Good 4, a strong 4.
I don't know what more to give it though, so I'm gonna just leave it at 4. You know, without overdoing.
You know what? Come to think about it, I think it's maybe like episode 2 or 3. I can't remember where we were. And we talked about Perdomo like very early in our podcast history. And I think that was one of the Perdomos that I smoked that kind of turned my thought process towards Perdomo. Like, oh, you know what? It's not that bad. I want to say I think that was the one I had gifted you around that same time when we started the podcast. Very early in our series. And that was probably one of the ones that I think that turned my mind state around when it came to Perdomo. That is not as bad as I had kind of pegged them to be. Boom. So I can appreciate that. I can appreciate that.
The 20th anniversary. It's a good cigar. It's a good cigar. And we had, like you said, we've been hard on Perdomo, but this is solid, man. That is good. I would definitely smoke that again, which ain't my first time smoking it, but I forgot. You know what I'm saying? Like you said, this was early.
You forget. You forget. Yeah. So many years pass by, like you kind of forget certain cigars that. Not saying you forget. Well, no, some cigars you might forget. So you have to be reminded. Like, you know what? Yeah, this is what it was, and this is why I did appreciate it. We definitely do have those moments. But yeah. So Oliva G series, man. I don't know if this is typical, or if you could have guessed this is what I was going to say, but this is what I'm going to say. Might be the most enjoyable Oliva that I've smoked.
What?
It might be. I might have to go and grab me a V. I mean, I would say that only because it was a fun cigar. I did enjoy the complexities, and we talked about it before, how much I do like complexities. There's times where you go for a cigar that's going to be even kill. It's going to give you what you know that's going to give you. But then there are times where you're going to want a complex palate, and it's going to give you those ups, downs, back, forwards, whatever, sideways, diagonals, whatever kind of angles you can get from the cigar. And that's what the G series did. And it's unique in that way from the other Oliva series. Going back, reading this after again and pointing out some of the things that it said in the description, and it said adding a rich bouquet, and when it said a rich bouquet of flavor, it kind of stuck to what it said it was going to do. Like, that didn't stick out to me until after I started smoking a cigar. Like, I kind of really glossed over that. I'm looking at it's supposed to be nutty. It has hints of coffee, nuts, wood, and all that stuff in the aftertaste. I paid attention to all those things. Those things sounded good. And I really breezed over the fact that it said a rich bouquet. And I think it lived up to what they mentioned. Because when I hear bouquet, I'm thinking, something that's going to have a wide variety of things that's going to make it complex. And that's what the Oliva G series did. It was definitely a fun cigar. So if I'm picking up a cigar that's going to give me that roller coaster ride, and it's going to end up on the highlight side, okay, yeah, it started out a little iffy, like I didn't know what's going to be. But as I got to the cigars, it started burning more. Like I said, that molasses undertone throughout kept it grounded. But then all those other things that kind of stuck out, that coffee came out, that cocoa came out, the earthiness came out, that wood came out. It has so many flavors, even in that first third, and then even more going to that second third. Like it went back and started doing it all over again. Made it a fun cigar to smoke, and that's one of those cigars. You want a complex cigar, that's the one to grab. Out of all the series in Oliva, if you want complexity, if you want characteristic, if you want just a full spectrum, a wide variety of flavors, that's the one to get. I would definitely smoke that again. I'm going to rate that a 4.5 out of 5 because it was just that fun. You know what I'm saying? Like, I enjoyed every flavor, and it did every flavor well. And even the bad aftertaste I was getting at the very beginning, which I think was probably my fault, probably how I kept the cigar, how I chose to light the cigar with a torch. I probably created that myself. I can own up to that. So I'm probably going to grab another one. I'm going to give it the star treatment the next time. I'm going to put the cedar spill to it. I'm going to, light it right, toast it right without a torch. I'm not going to torch the end. And I'm going to see. And I'm probably going to smoke one fresh out the humidor, just to see where, what could it have been if I didn't smoke it the way I smoked it today. I think it could be even
next
that
lounge
much greater.
You go to, you getting the G series.
I'm getting the G series. And I want to see. Because I really, 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 really did enjoy that cigar, man. Like, I don't know if you ever smoked a cigar that just kind of makes you giddy. That was one of them. That was one of them. If we weren't doing a podcast, man, I'd be sitting here being giddy about this. Like, yo, this is a nice cigar, man. It's fun.
I can't believe we went all this time and didn't mess with the G series. We've been doing all the other ones, and that was the one the whole time.
The whole time. I'm probably gonna grab one immediately within the next few days, and I'm probably gonna smoke it on some casual time just to see, like, did I do this wrong? Is G where I should have been the whole time? So hey, 4.5, man, 4.5. It was fun.
Man, that's a great score, man. There you have it, man. That's this week's episode of the Cigars and Everything Else podcast. We appreciate everybody for tuning in. We'll get with you next week. We keep them cigars up.
Cigars up. Here.